What's going on, keepers? I'm Kane and this is Noodle. And today we're going to talk about eggs, babies, and Morph Market. And also some good news and bad news. So stick around and see what we've got in store. What's going on, guys? We're sitting here cleaning, and we cleaned some rats, so we decided to clean the snake tubs. See, Michelle's over here working hard, and sure enough, we opened up. And can you see what I can see in between there? Round number 2. And sorry, I got my phone face forward, so it's really hard to look sideways at the camera. I usually turn around backwards so I don't have to think about it. But let's see, try to make sure I open the right one here. This girl right here is looking super plump, so be positive that she's about to go too. Exciting. Alright, well, we didn't go through the whole process of mixing everything and blah 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 and candling them because we did that in the last video, and so we didn't want to drag it out. But we've got 4 eggs here. Last time we did the red crosses with 116. So this time we switched it up and we did blue crosses with 316. Now, one thing we are kind of concerned about is you can see these little white, like almost calcified dots. I'm going to be straight up with you. The enclosure was a little bit dry. I didn't have it wet enough. So the humidity was down. So I think that might be what it is. I think the eggs are just a little bit dry. So which we did candle them. It did make it a little hard to candle them because they were so calcified. But we could see that there were embryos and veins in each one. So this should be good. And the other thing, once again, I'm a transparent guy. I'm not here to try to make myself look perfect. One of them did fall when I was picking the snake up. I didn't realize that it was stuck to her side. You know, I assumed they were all stuck together, which I shouldn't have. And it fell about that far. I think it's going to be fine. But, you know, just take it from me. Be careful. Don't be like me and get excited and rush. So, we've got it written down here. Our male is Sunny, and he is an albino pied. And well, I won't drag him out. I'll throw up a picture right here, and of them locked up, and you can see what they look like. So Sunny, our albino pied, and then we have Sunflower, the female, our albino het pied, and they gave us 4 eggs, laid July 22nd, and the hatch date is supposed to be around September 20th. Oh boy, guys. Can we say round 3 for this year? Oh, she's booted one out. But I think you get the point. Alright guys, round 3 this year. We got another one set up. I went ahead and did the whole process because you've seen us do that recently. Got our perlite ready. So we got 7 eggs out of our, we've got everything right here, out of our crossing between Noodle, our show host, the Pinstripe 100% het pied, and Freckles, our banana 100% het pied. So this is actually going to be my most exciting clutch of the year, even though it will probably be the least valuable, unless I hit a banana pied, which that would be awesome. But this one's going to be exciting to me because I don't know what's going to come out. I mean, I know what the possibilities are, but with 7 eggs, there's a potential that I could almost have a different snake per egg. Not quite, but almost. But there's a lot of variety. Whereas our Super Lesser and Super Mojave, we knew they were going to be all leucistic, blue-eyed leucistics. And our albino pied to our albino het pied, we know those as a 50-50. They could be albino or they could be albino pied. Well, these ones, there's all kinds of possibilities. And those other 2 clutches, I'm not really interested in holding back. But if I get the right male out of this one, I may hold it back and replace Noodle with it and just keep Noodle as a pet. So, we went ahead and put our scripture on here and our cross as always. It's kind of our little tradition we're going to do for every egg. I'll throw up some pictures of our other clutches we already did. So we did a 116, which is a Romans 1:16. Then we did 3:16, which everybody knows John 3:16. And for this egg, we did 4:13, which is Philippians 4:13. You should definitely check those out. So those are laid today on August the 3rd, and those other ones were laid on July 22nd. So just like a week and a half afterwards. I told you they were getting ready to hatch. And they're due to hatch around October the 2nd. So we'll go ahead and throw these in here. And that, we got 2 clutches in the incubator. And as a final bit, our 7 blue-eyed leucistic lesser Mojaves all just ate their 5th meal yesterday, so they're ready to go. It's just exciting a time. Alright, I just want to do a little cut right here real quick. Michelle called me out on it, and we did it on the last clutch as well. I stuck this in there without putting the pill and stick on there. That's only been like 2 seconds. We just turned the camera off. But I didn't want somebody watching the video to get confused and not realize what we were doing. We always put peel and stick over this, and we don't put any holes because eggs don't need to breathe. But I just want to update you on that because both of these clutches are going to be in the same video, and both times I put them in there without putting the peel and stick on. And then when I shut the camera off, I turned right around and put it back on there. Anyway, just want to throw that in there. Alright guys, we're back at it again, and it's that time. So these were supposed to hatch on September 20th, and I think, what's today, honey? The
17th, yeah.
So 3 days early on these guys. My wife just checked them. That's slouched down because we already opened it. And lo and behold, there's a couple of heads sticking out. So these 2 right here are pipped. We're going to go ahead and cut those open a little bit more. We can already tell both of those are albino hepides. So hoping this one will be the albino pied. At least we can hit one. And then this egg right here, we actually ended up having to separate because it started getting moldy. So we're not sure on that one. We're going to cut it and hopefully not regret it. But I've heard some stories about some stanky eggs. So I don't know. We'll see here. I don't know. Not looking too good on that one. That one might not have developed right, so unfortunately we might not. It did move, so it is alive, but we're just gonna leave it be and hope for the best on that one. Oh yeah. Now there is no way. I am not cutting that because I already know that did not make it. So we're going to save our nostrils on that one. We did put some foot powder on it to try to keep the mold down, but unfortunately that one looked like it just didn't make it. So looks like we got the third one I saw, it was also an albino, so we didn't hit the pied. It was an albino pied to an albino 100% het pied. The female was proven, but with only 3 eggs, you know, good odds we wasn't going to hit it. So we'll get back to you when those crawl out, and hopefully that one will be alright. Alright, so we're back again, and we couldn't resist being nosy, so we had to cut the bad egg. We had to cut the bad egg open. No rocket, we don't need that. And actually don't stink that bad, but it looks like a boiled egg is what it basically looks like. So nothing in there for sure. We just had to look. It's actually kind of hard. It says weird, almost like it was cooked. But I got to looking inside of this one egg. We're not gonna touch it with that because that's nasty. And actually, I think I was wrong. So if we can get close here, this one right here, you can definitely tell it's an albino by looking at it. But this one right here, after I got to looking a little bit better, I believe that one's an albino pied. You can see by the it looks like the splotch right there. So actually, I think we did hit the odds on one of them. As I said, the one right there don't look too good. We're not sure on it. Hopefully, maybe I'm just seeing the yolk sac on that one, and it'll be alright, but I mean, I don't know. We'll just see. Anyway, just had to update you. Alright guys, well, the snakes are out of their eggs. I don't know if I think I showed them after they came out of their eggs. Because we've had some complications with one. It's still with us, and now they've all shed. So we're gonna get them out right now and show them to you. So for starters, we've got one right here. It's an albino, 100% het pied. She's a real pretty girl. We've already got their things marked out right here. I'm gonna go ahead and put them in their tubs. They're all set and ready to go. I'm not gonna sex them right now. I do have some probes, and I know in previous videos I've said I prefer popping, and maybe I still do, maybe I don't. I don't know. You know, I judged it before I tried it, and the probing seems really invasive, but to me, I kind of felt like it wasn't as invasive as popping. One of those do your own research, try your own thing deals. But for right now, I can easily probe an animal and tell what sex it is. I'm having a hard time with popping. So anyway, that's a little off the subject. I want to save that one for last. This one right here is an albino pied. See if I can get it unwrapped right here. And it come out the egg looking alright. The only problem was the umbilical cord and the yolk sac was still attached. There's actually still just a slight opening there where it was before, so it hasn't closed all the way up yet. Other than that, this one's been doing really good. So I thought that was kind of weird, you know, I didn't tie it off, I just let it sit and it came off on its own. It seems to be doing alright, it shed out alright. We're going to keep a close eye on it. And this is part of the reason why I'm not probing right now, is because these animals have kind of had a hard time, and I just don't want to harass them anymore. And lastly right here, I debated on showing this animal, but you know, we're doing the good with the bad and try to be transparent. Right now it seems to be doing pretty good, but I don't know. So you can tell by looking at it right off the bat, it's tiny. It's way small compared to the other ones. And this animal has had issues from day one. So when I seen it in the egg, I didn't realize it was an albino pied. I just thought it was an albino het pied. But I could tell in the egg that it didn't look right. I thought it was deformed in the egg. Well, there is actually an extra like round sac in there. I don't know if it was going to be twins and one didn't develop or what that was. I don't think it was a yolk sac because there was still a yolk sac and an umbilical cord. The dog is still on the rat food. He likes to rat food. That's why we keep a gate up. Anyway, well, it come out of the egg, and at first it just had a tiny head and its whole body was huge. And so we thought, you know, it was just deformed. But it still had that umbilical cord and the yolk sac attached. Well, it finally fell off. And we still wasn't knowing if it was going to turn out all right. Well, after it fell off, the tub was kind of nasty where both of those snakes' umbilical cords and yolk sacs fell off. Now, mind you, they crawled out of the egg on their own. I didn't take them out. So, but they were still on there when they come out. They were pretty much shriveled up like they were done with it. Rocket, no more. It'd be sick. Anyway, after that one fell off of there, and I picked this one up, some white stuff came out of the hole where it hadn't healed up, like pus. And I immediately realized it was an infection, and that's why its body was swollen up. And I didn't record this because I didn't want to show it. But I debated even talking about it because, you know, somebody will tell you how you did something wrong. But in that moment, I just thought it was the best thing to do. So when I picked it up and that started coming out of there, Rocket, get away from that food. Here, baby. Get the dog. So when I picked it up and that stuff started coming out of there, I pushed on it a little bit and more came out, of course, just like a pimple or anything that's infected does. And so I ended up taking it into the sink and cleaning it real good and pushed out so much. It was really gross. And I honestly didn't know if it would live through the night. But I told my wife, if it has any chance of surviving, the best thing we can do is get that infection out of there. My poor wife cried and cried all night. But here we are, what do you say, honey? Maybe 4 days later? Something like that. And it's still moving around and doing all right. Surprisingly, I would have swore that it wouldn't make it. And even the hole is starting to heal up pretty good. So it may make it, I don't know. One thing's for sure, if it does, it's not going to be for sale anytime soon, if at all. We don't know if we're going to sell this one or not. It's already kind of an emotional deal and really sad. And this whole clutch has just been kind of a headache. The snake only produced 4 eggs. 1 rotted right off the bat. Then 2 of them came out with an umbilical cord and yolk sac still attached. And then obviously the one that is way undersized and had all that infection in it. So it's just been a pain. But to be honest, I think it was my own fault. Because this is why. This was the first year I bred snakes. And when the one snake, the Super Mojave girl, laid eggs, I thought that the other 2 were going to lay eggs right after. They were really plump. They had skipped a meal or 2, and I always heard once they skip a meal, don't feed them no more because they're about to lay. So I quit feeding them. And then a month went by, nothing. And then another half a month went by, nothing. So then I thought, maybe I missed it. Maybe I need to feed them. It's been a month and a half and they ain't eat. And I put one in there, and sure enough, they ate. And so, it wasn't shortly after that, they ended up laying the eggs. Well, the one only laid 4, and 1 rotted, and then the issues, and then the other one we'll show you right now. I don't believe that it's going to do so well. I don't think anything's going to hatch. So every single one of the eggs turned brown and molded. Those 5 look terrible, and those 2 on the end, I don't know. They're supposed to, what is today, the 30th?
Yeah.
They're supposed to hatch on August 3rd. We're going to leave them in
October
there.
3rd.
Or October 3rd, Oh, I'm sorry. They're supposed to hatch October 2nd. They were late on October 3rd. So we're going to wait, but I don't think anything's going to happen. And I honestly think it was my own fault. I guess this is one way where ultrasound probably would help out. And my advice from this is just keep feeding, even if they don't take it, try again. Don't just quit, because I may have underfed the snakes and then they didn't develop good. It may have even been longer than a month and a half that they didn't eat. I can't remember the exact date, I'm just guessing, but you live and you learn. We're hoping this one little one makes it. If it does, then we're going to hold on to it for a while to make sure it's doing alright. And we may just end up keeping it, we may not, we don't know. My wife definitely wants to. One last thing before I go, I'll show you what we have left of the bells. So I haven't been doing YouTube much, but we got this boy right here. He's looking pretty as ever. And then we've got 3 girls left. And they're all definitely very pretty. Listen at her. This is one of the spicy ones. She don't like to be messed with so much. Yeah, you can see, very pretty blue eyes. If you're interested in some of these, our Morph market I'll put in the description below. We have already sold 3 of them, and I know I haven't said that on my YouTube yet that they were available, but I just hadn't had a chance. Everything's been so wild. But yeah, so if you're interested in a bell, check our Morph market down below. We'd love to do business with you and find these girls and one boy a good home. Oh, and as an update, I don't think I ever mentioned from the previous video, it ended up being 2 boys and 5 girls. So I was pretty close on my popping guess. I said one male and 6 females. But after probing them and checking them, it was 2 males and 5 females. But anyway, yeah, check our Morph market if you're interested in one of these. The albinos won't be available yet because we're just now putting them in the tubs. So, you know, we're going to get some meals in them, and the one probably won't be available for a while, if at all. But anyway, yep, just wanted to give you an update on everything. Alright guys, I really appreciate you watching today's video. Like I said before, if you want to check our Morph market out for those snakes, we'll have that down in the description. And today's lesson is, you know, don't quit feeding until you know for sure. I've heard that before, you know, once they refuse a meal, they're not going to eat no more, so quit feeding them. Well, I really regretted that decision. I can't say for sure that that's what did it, but both of these were proven females, and Noodle is a proven male. I can't say as far as the other one, but so for that to come out like that, I think it was my fault, more or less. I've heard of guys that fed and didn't even realize that the snake was laying on eggs. They open and check to see if it ate the rat, and the rat's in there and the eggs are in there. So sometimes they'll eat until they lay. So, you know, just don't make my mistake. But anyway, as always, I appreciate you watching today's video. And remember, your hobby can bring you joy, but only Jesus can bring you peace. Hope to see you guys in the next one.